Welcome, everyone. Today, we're diving into the world of sustainability standards and frameworks. These tools are essential for guiding organizations in addressing environmental, social, and governance issues. They not only help in measuring and managing sustainability performance, but also ensure transparency and informed decision-making. Let's explore how they can enhance your business reputation, attract investors, and ensure compliance. Let's get started. Let's start by focusing on how sustainability standards serve as structured guidelines for addressing environmental, social, and governance issues. They help businesses enhance their reputation, attract investors, and boost operational efficiency. Frameworks provide a systematic way to measure, manage, and report performance, building trust and ensuring transparency with stakeholders. These tools are vital for accountability and informed decision-making. Let's explore how they can transform your organization. Adopted in 1992, the UNFCCC is an international treaty focuses on combating climate change. Its main goal is to stabilize greenhouse gas concentrations in the atmosphere to prevent harmful interference with our climate system. The UNFCCC aims to promote adaptation, reduce emissions, and provide a framework for meaningful climate action. The UNFCCC operates on the principle of common but differentiated responsibilities, recognizing that developed countries have a greater role in addressing global emissions due to their historical impact. A critical focus is climate finance, where developed nations support developing countries in mitigating and adapting to climate change. Key mechanisms include the Kyoto Protocol, which set legally binding targets for emissions reduction, and the Paris Agreement, which aims to keep global temperature rise well below 2 degrees Celsius, with efforts to limit it to 1.5 degrees. The United Nations Global Compact, launched in 2000, stands as the world's largest corporate sustainability initiative. It encourages businesses globally to adopt sustainable and socially responsible policies through 10 universal principles. By focusing on human rights, labor standards, environment, and anti-corruption, the Compact advances the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, paving the way for impactful change. The United Nations Global Compact revolves around 10 key principles across human rights, labor, environment, and anti-corruption. Companies commit to respecting human rights and providing fair working conditions. They adopt a precautionary approach, support environmental responsibility, and work against corruption in all forms. These principles guide businesses to foster corporate social responsibility and sustainable growth. The Task Force on Climate-Related Financial Disclosures, established by the Financial Stability Board in 2015, provides recommendations for organizations to disclose climate-related financial risks and opportunities. By improving transparency, it helps better allocate resources and assist in the transition to a low-carbon economy, integrating risks and opportunities into financial planning. The Task Force on Climate-Related Financial Disclosures highlights 4 key areas: governance, strategy, risk management, and metrics and targets. Governance addresses how an organization oversees climate-related risks. Strategy looks at potential impacts on business and strategy. Risk management involves identifying and managing these risks, while metrics and targets assess and evaluate them. Together, these elements create a robust framework for integrating climate considerations into financial planning. The Task Force on Climate-Related Financial Disclosures presents both pros and cons. On the positive side, it promotes low-carbon alignment, enhances transparency, mitigates risks, and attracts investments. However, it can be costly to implement, complex, resource-intensive, and may have inconsistencies. Balancing these factors is crucial for effectively using the TCFD framework. EcoVadis is an internationally recognized platform that evaluates a company's sustainability performance. It focuses on environmental, social, and ethical practices across the supply chain. On the environmental side, it assesses energy use, water, waste management, and resource efficiency. Social evaluations cover labor standards, human rights, and community impact. Ethical assessments measure governance, anti-corruption, and business ethics. This comprehensive approach helps businesses enhance their sustainability credentials. EcoVadis offers robust benchmarking and improvement tools to assess sustainability performance. It allows companies to compare themselves against peers and global standards, pinpointing areas for improvement and tracking progress over time. The platform also provides actionable insights to enhance practices, focusing on data-driven recommendations. While it offers transparency and competitive advantage, it's important to consider the potential costs and implementation effort involved. The Corporate Sustainability Reporting Directive is a European Union initiative to enhance and standardize sustainability reporting. It requires large and publicly traded companies to provide detailed disclosures about their sustainability practices, risks, and impacts. Building on the Non-Financial Reporting Directive, it expands both the scope and depth of reporting requirements, aiming for greater transparency and accountability. The Corporate Sustainability Reporting Directive emphasizes achieving effective sustainability reporting. Key aspects include aligning with European sustainability reporting standards, ensuring audit and assurance for accuracy, and enhancing reliability. It focuses on harmonization across the EU, stakeholder comparability, climate and social impacts, governance, strategy, and detailed disclosures. Together, these elements foster consistent and transparent sustainability reporting across Europe. The Corporate Sustainability Reporting Directive offers several key benefits. It boosts investor confidence by providing reliable sustainability performance data. Improved transparency offers a clear view of practices, fostering trust. It enhances decision-making by offering insights for strategic choices. Lastly, it ensures compliance with European Union regulations, avoiding penalties and promoting adherence to standards. The Science Based Targets Initiative provides a framework for setting greenhouse gas reduction targets that align with the latest climate science. It supports businesses in establishing targets in line with the Paris Agreement's goals, aiming to limit global warming to well below 2 degrees Celsius, preferably to 1.5 degrees. The initiative focuses on near-term, net zero, absolute, and intensity targets to drive ambitious corporate climate action. The Science Based Targets Initiative, or SBTi, offers several key benefits. It ensures alignment with the latest climate science, boosting a company's global credibility. By setting ambitious targets, businesses can achieve market leadership, showcasing their commitment to sustainability. Additionally, this approach enhances investor confidence, signaling a proactive stance on climate action and fostering trust. The Global Reporting Initiative, or GRI, is a trailblazer in sustainability reporting, established in 1997. It offers a comprehensive framework for organizations to disclose their environmental, social, and governance impacts. Widely adopted, GRI standards help thousands of organizations worldwide boost transparency and drive positive change. The Global Reporting Initiative standards are structured into 3 categories: universal, sector, and topic standards. Universal standards cover general disclosure requirements. Sector standards are tailored to specific industries, providing relevant guidance. Topic standards focus on specific sustainability topics. Together, they ensure comprehensive and relevant reporting for organizations across different sectors. The Carbon Disclosure Project, or CDP, is a global platform established in 2000 for companies, cities, and governments to disclose environmental data. It allows businesses to report on climate impact, including carbon emissions, water use, and deforestation risks. Widely used by organizations worldwide, CDP helps measure, manage, and reduce environmental impacts effectively. B Corp certification signifies that a business meets high standards of verified performance, accountability, and transparency, covering aspects from employee benefits to supply chain practices. It's overseen by B Lab, a nonprofit organization. Companies become B Corp certified to lead movements, attract investors, generate press, and engage talented employees, showcasing their commitment to social and environmental responsibility. B Corp certification offers significant benefits. It helps maintain a mission-driven approach and differentiates your brand from competitors. By benchmarking and improving performance, it attracts and engages talent who value social responsibility. Certification also facilitates collaboration with peers, saving money and accessing services, all while enhancing the ability to raise capital. Here are the steps for achieving B Corp certification. First, meet the performance requirements across governance, workers, community, environment, and business model. Next, satisfy the legal requirements by adopting the B Corp legal standards. Finally, complete the term sheet and pay the certification fee. These steps ensure a commitment to social and environmental excellence. The Business Responsibility and Sustainability Report, or BRSR, is a mandatory framework by the Securities and Exchange Board of India. It requires companies to disclose their environmental, social, and governance performance, aligning with sustainable development goals and global ESG principles. BRSR promotes transparency and accountability, ensuring businesses contribute positively to sustainable development. The ISO 14006X series focuses on greenhouse gas management. It includes guidelines for organizational, project level, and verification activities related to emissions and removals. The standards cover carbon footprint products and requirements for quantification. Additionally, ISO 14068 addresses climate change management with a focus on transitioning to net zero. ISO 14064-1-2018 outlines principles for managing and reporting greenhouse gas inventories at the organizational level. It includes guidelines for determining emission boundaries, quantifying emissions and removals, and managing specific activities that impact greenhouse gases. The standard is program neutral, meaning it can align with various greenhouse gas programs. ISO 14064-1-2018 is built on key principles: relevance for choosing the right greenhouse gas sources and methods, completeness to include all relevant emissions and removals, consistency for meaningful comparisons, accuracy to reduce bias and uncertainty, and transparency to provide sufficient disclosure of information. These principles ensure robust and reliable greenhouse gas reporting. ISO 14064-1-2018 requires identifying GHG inventory boundaries. Organizations can consolidate emissions and removals from facilities by controlling all GHG activities or accounting for a specific portion. Reporting boundaries include direct emissions and various indirect emissions, such as those from imported energy, transportation, products used, and others. This approach ensures comprehensive coverage. ISO 14064-1-2018 guides the quantification of greenhouse gas emissions and removals. First, identify all relevant greenhouse gas sources and sinks. Select a quantification approach with accurate and consistent methodologies. Then, calculate emissions following the chosen method, considering factors like global warming potential. Finally, establish a base year greenhouse gas inventory for meaningful comparisons over time. ISO 14064-2019 provides guidelines for project-level greenhouse gas management. It focuses on activities aimed at reducing emissions or enhancing removals. The standard outlines principles for planning, identifying, and monitoring project activities. It also emphasizes verification and validation. ISO 12064-2 is program neutral, adaptable to various greenhouse gas initiatives. ISO 12064-2019 is guided by several key principles. Transparency ensures information disclosure for user confidence. Conservativeness involves using conservative assumptions to avoid overestimation. Completeness requires including all emissions and removals. Accuracy focuses on minimizing bias and reducing uncertainty. Consistency allows for comparisons through standardized data, while relevance ensures appropriate greenhouse gas sources and sinks are selected. ISO 14064-2019 outlines a comprehensive cycle for greenhouse gas projects. It begins with planning, assessing data, and designing a GHG plan. Implementation follows, with project execution and monitoring. Finally, recognition involves verifying results and certifying outcomes. The process ensures effective management and reporting of emissions reductions or enhancements, although not all projects require each element. ISO 14064-2019 includes specific requirements for greenhouse gas projects during planning. Start with project description, then select the baseline scenario and identify GHG sources and sinks, establish criteria for additionality, and assess risks. Ensure robust measurement, monitoring, and data management to maintain quality and improve GHG performance. These steps are vital for effective greenhouse gas reduction projects. ISO 14063-2019 details how to verify greenhouse gas statements related to inventories, projects, and carbon footprints of products. It describes the verification or validation process and outlines assessment procedures. This standard is applicable to organizations, projects, and product GHG statements. Being GHG program neutral, it can complement the requirements of other ISO 14060 family standards. ISO 14063-2019 is grounded in 5 key principles. Impartiality ensures independence and objectivity. Documentation establishes the basis for conformity with criteria. An evidence-based approach uses rational methods with appropriate evidence. Fair presentation involves truthful and accurate reporting. Lastly, conservativeness supports cautious selections and comparable alternatives. These principles ensure integrity and verification. ISO 14064-3-2019 differentiates between verification and validation. Verification evaluates historical data to ensure accuracy and conformity with criteria. Validation assesses assumptions and methods to support future activity outcomes. Essentially, verification focuses on past performance, while validation deals with future projections. Both are crucial for managing greenhouse gas impacts effectively. ISO 14063-2019 outlines a decision process for determining the type of engagement: Begin by asking if an opinion is needed. If yes, check if the greenhouse gas statement is historical. If so, proceed with verification. If not, opt for validation. If no opinion is needed, use agreed upon procedures. This flow ensures the right approach for each situation. ISO standards play a crucial role for companies by providing repeatable steps that organizations can implement to achieve their objectives. They ensure customer satisfaction, quality improvement, and enhanced process communication. Additionally, they drive operational efficiency and cost savings, support business collaboration, and boost international recognition. This continuous cycle of improvement strengthens management and commitment across the board. ISO 14067 defines principles and guidelines for quantifying the carbon footprint of products. It focuses on greenhouse gas emissions throughout the product's life cycle, from raw materials to disposal. The aim is to enhance environmental integrity by assessing these emissions accurately. While it doesn't account for social or economic impacts, it's essential for precise climate change measurements and provides a foundation for consistent carbon footprint studies. ISO 14067 connects with standards beyond the greenhouse gas management family. It integrates requirements from ISO 14040 and ISO 14044 for life cycle assessments and ISO 14025 for product category rules. The process involves creating a footprint communication report and carbon footprint study. This ensures consistent and accurate environmental reporting, supporting informed decision-making. ISO 14067 is driven by key principles. Relevance ensures significant greenhouse gas emissions and removals are considered. Completeness addresses significant contributions and offcuts. An iterative approach incorporates goals, scope, life cycle inventories, and assessments. Accuracy enhances precision and bias reduction. Consistency uses standardized assumptions and methods, while transparency ensures clear communication. The scientific approach relies on natural sciences for data, and coherence integrates with existing standards and guidance. ISO 14067 guides the methodology for quantifying the carbon footprint of products. It emphasizes including 4 key phases: goal, scope, inventory analysis, and life cycle interpretation. The product system should be organized into life cycle stages, addressing emissions and removals. Partial carbon footprints can also be calculated, provided they align with the complete methodology and avoid overlaps. This ensures comprehensive and accurate carbon footprint assessments. The goal of conducting a carbon footprint of products study is to measure a product's potential contribution to global warming by quantifying significant greenhouse gas emissions and removals throughout its life cycle. When defining the goal, key elements must be clear: the intended application, reasons for the study, the audience, and any communication related to the footprint. It's essential to communicate these details effectively. ISO 14061:2023 builds upon existing standards like ISO 14061, ISO 14063, and ISO 14067. It offers principles and guidance to achieve and demonstrate carbon neutrality. The focus is on quantifying, reducing, and offsetting carbon footprints. By using a hierarchical approach, it emphasizes reducing direct and indirect greenhouse gas emissions, along with removals within the value chain before considering offsets. ISO 14068:2023 focuses on a carbon neutrality framework with a clear scope. It includes hierarchy and guidelines for greenhouse gas emission reductions, removal enhancements, and offsetting. The standards are designed for organizations and products, but are not intended for territories or UNFCCC signatories. This ensures that the framework remains focused and applicable to specific entities. ISO 14068:2023 outlines principles for carbon neutrality. It emphasizes a science-based approach focusing on the latest climate science with regular reviews. The hierarchy approach prioritizes emission reductions, removals, and offsets. Supporting transition acknowledges sustainable development and managing high emissions. Urgency and ambition drive rapid action and setting interim targets towards long-term goals. Transparency and avoiding adverse impacts ensure public disclosure and minimal harm. Accountability is key, requiring top management responsibility and effective control. ISO 14068:2023 offers a structured approach to carbon neutrality. It starts with a commitment to neutrality, followed by selecting the subject and defining boundaries. Next, quantification of greenhouse gas emissions and removals is tackled. Development and maintenance of carbon neutrality frameworks come next, alongside planning and implementing greenhouse gas mitigation. Offsetting the carbon footprint is coordinated, and the process concludes with reporting requirements and making carbon neutrality claims. This comprehensive framework ensures a systematic path to achieving carbon neutrality. ISO 14681-2023 details the carbon neutrality pathway by linking elements like emissions and removals. The left part of the pathway shows unabridged emissions, reductions, and removals, leading to the net result. On the right, combinations of elements across different phases illustrate reductions and offsetting strategies. Addressing both unabridged and residual emissions ensures comprehensive coverage of greenhouse gas management in achieving carbon neutrality. In ISO 14681-2023, entities are required to establish a carbon neutrality pathway that details efforts to minimize the carbon footprint. This includes setting short and long-term targets with specific dates and clearly defining when only residual greenhouse gas emissions will remain. The pathway supports a systematic trajectory towards achieving carbon neutrality, ensuring that progress is measurable and goals are ambitious yet attainable. The ISO 5001 standard focuses on energy management systems. The latest edition from August 2018 provides guidance on its use. In February 2024, an amendment will introduce climate action changes. This ensures that energy management is aligned with evolving climate goals and provides organizations with updated strategies for sustainable energy use. ISO 5001 guides you through energy management system implementation. Begin by establishing the energy management framework, followed by implementation. Maintain the system to ensure effective operation and continually improve its capabilities. The aim is to enhance overall effectiveness while achieving energy performance improvements. This journey leads to better energy efficiency and optimized performance. ISO 5001 operates on the Plan, Do, Check, Act model, a continual improvement framework. It integrates energy management into existing practices. By following this cycle, leaders can manage and enhance their organization's effectiveness. The process promotes strategic energy efficiency improvements through planning, implementation, and review. ISO 5001 applies to any organization engaged in energy-affecting activities. It's independent of specific energy consumption details and emphasizes the need for continual improvement. The standard can be used independently or integrated with other systems, offering flexibility in its application to enhance energy management practices. To maximize ISO 5001 implementation and certification, start with top management commitment to drive success. Stay informed on energy system changes to adapt your approach. Encourage departments to collaborate for organization-wide benefits. Engage with customers and suppliers to optimize energy performance. Regularly review systems to ensure they meet standards. Use audits to identify potential improvements and foster a culture of continual advancement. The ISO 59000 series focuses on the circular economy, offering a variety of standards for guidance and implementation. ISO 59004 and 59010, set for release in 2024, cover circular economy principles and the transition of business models. ISO 59014, soon to be published, deals with environmental management and circular supply chains. Upcoming standards will focus on measuring circularity, performance-based approaches, and reviewing value networks. These standards aim to support and advance sustainable practices across industries. The ISO 59000 series illustrates the relationship between ISO 59004, 59010, and 59020. ISO 59004 provides the foundational vocabulary and principles for understanding and implementing the circular economy. ISO 59010 offers business-oriented guidance on transitioning towards circular business models and setting goals. ISO 59020 focuses on measuring circularity performance, providing a structured approach to assess sustainability impacts using indicators and methods. Together, they form a comprehensive framework for advancing circular practices. ISO 59004 is crafted to drive a shift towards a circular economy applicable to any organization. It involves defining key terms, outlining a vision, elucidating core principles, and offering actionable guidelines. The aim is to help organizations contribute toward the United Nations 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. By adopting ISO 59004, organizations can drive value, ensure ecosystem resilience, and build a sustainable future. ISO 59004 defines essential terms and establishes a vision for the circular economy. It provides guidance and actions for implementation. It's applicable to any organization, private or public, regardless of size or type. Whether operating independently or collaboratively, it supports entities in adopting circular practices within any jurisdiction or value chain. ISO 59004/2024 outlines principles for sustainable organizational practices. It emphasizes value creation by generating socioeconomic and environmental value through solutions. Value sharing encourages collaboration with stakeholders to distribute created value equitably. Resource stewardship promotes sustainable management to ensure future availability. Systems thinking advocates for a holistic view, considering long-term impacts on systems. Lastly, ecosystem resilience focuses on strategies to protect and regenerate ecosystems and biodiversity. ISO 59004/2024 provides strategies for resource management, aiming to maximize efficiency and sustainability. It covers actions like refusing unnecessary solutions and rethinking functions for radical improvements. It suggests redesigning resources for easier reuse or recycling and reducing consumption. Repair emphasizes maintaining items, while reuse focuses on utilizing resources in current form. Refurbishment involves restoring and upgrading products. Returning items allows for improvements and cascading uses materials across various applications. Repurposing shifts resources to new uses, and recovery turns waste into valuable inputs. Remine involves sourcing valuable materials from waste, promoting sustainability. ISO 59004/2024 guides organizations in circular economy implementation using a structured approach. It begins with purpose, mission, and vision definition, anchoring strategies in core principles. Circular economy strategic priorities follow, driving action plan development. The cycle continues with monitoring, reviewing, and reporting to ensure alignment and progress. Each step is framed by a context and reference situation assessment, ensuring a tailored and effective approach. ISO 59004/2024 highlights actions for a circular economy transition, emphasizing their interconnectedness. It includes incorporating eco-design, establishing material banks, and promoting industrial symbiosis. Each action supports various aspects like creating added value, contributing to retention, and enhancing value recovery. The framework shows how these actions interlink to facilitate circular economy goals, demonstrating comprehensive strategies for organizational sustainability. ISO 59010/2024 offers guidance for organizations shifting to circular frameworks, focusing on sustainable practices at both organizational and interorganizational levels. It complements ISO 59004 by detailing value creation models, mapping value chains, and developing circularity strategies. Designed to support business transitions, it emphasizes enhancing resource efficiency and fostering innovation for economic opportunities. ISO 59010/2024 outlines a structured approach for transitioning to a circular economy. It begins with setting goals and boundaries to match your organization's vision with circular economy principles. Next, determining a circular economy strategy involves identifying opportunities and crafting a robust plan. Transitioning includes developing a value creation model and ensuring value network alignment. Finally, reviewing and monitoring drive continuous improvement, ensuring sustainability success. ISO 59010/2024 aligns closely with ISO 59004, providing practical steps for a circular economy transition. It outlines context assessment, identifying drivers, mapping goals, and setting boundaries. The framework ensures strategy prioritization, model development, and value network alignment. It emphasizes implementation, monitoring, and continuous improvement, ensuring comprehensive coverage of circular economy principles. ISO 59010/2024 lays out a process for setting goals towards a circular economy value creation model. It starts with assessing circularity performance using key performance indicators and determining achievements. Goal definition establishes objectives and accomplishments. Understanding the current model helps identify improvement areas. Mapping the value chain incorporates stakeholder analysis and relationships. Setting boundaries defines scope and clarifies actions, all while considering ISO 59004's principles and guidelines. This illustration from ISO 59010/2024 shows how to map the value chain and network. It visualizes resource flows across different stages like raw materials, production, distribution, and recycling. Boundaries are set to highlight key areas of focus. The flow diagram aids in identifying value creation opportunities and optimizing processes, ensuring a transition towards a circular economy. This example from ISO 59010/2024 illustrates the transition from a linear value chain to a circular value chain, and finally to a circular value network. It highlights how materials and products move through stages, emphasizing the reduction of waste and closing the loop. The evolution from chain to network fosters efficient circular practices, enhancing sustainability efforts across the value network. This illustration from ISO 59010-2024 shows mapping the value chain and network's complexity over time. It uses a three-dimensional model to represent different spheres of influence and complexity. The diagram tracks how these dimensions change at different times, illustrating the evolving nature of value creation and system interactions within a circular economy framework. ISO 59010-2024 focuses on crafting a circular economy strategy rooted in core principles like systems thinking, resource stewardship, and value sharing. When evaluating a business model, it's crucial to pinpoint value propositions, customer relationships, and potential risks. Assessing circularity performance involves examining resource inputs and outputs and identifying areas for improvement. Actions considered include technology and sustainable business models. This comprehensive strategy ensures robust resource management and sustainability. This diagram from ISO 59010-2024 shows the cumulative environmental impact over a solution's life cycle. It covers phases such as design, production, and end of life. The graph illustrates how the impact varies, with key points indicating changes during different stages. This visual helps identify areas where circular practices can minimize environmental effects, aiding in the transition to a sustainable life cycle approach. This example from ISO 59010-2024 shows a materiality matrix for the food business sector, focusing on food loss and waste. The matrix highlights priorities such as addressing food loss at farming, processing, retail, and waste at retailing. It plots these issues based on importance to the business and relevance to circular economy strategies, helping identify critical focus areas for enhancing sustainability in the sector. This example from ISO 59010-2024 illustrates economic rationalization using a cost-benefit analysis for food waste. The left diagram shows how loss of revenue due to discarded inventory, such as food waste, is a trade-off against the cost of food and stockout probability. In the right diagram, it shows how including revenues from residues and environmental costs affects this balance. It emphasizes the importance of considering multiple factors for a comprehensive economic analysis in circular economy practices. This slide from ISO 59010-2024 illustrates transitioning a value chain to a circular value network. The left side shows a typical linear sequence, while the right side highlights multiple collaborative relationships, creating a dynamic network. Key stages like raw materials, use, and recycling are interconnected. The diagram emphasizes closing the loop to enhance resource efficiency and sustainability. ISO 59010-2024 presents an example of industrial symbiosis starting from a sugarcane firm. The diagram depicts how various byproducts and waste materials like bagasse, steam, and molasses are redirected to different processes such as electricity generation, ethanol distillation, and carbon production. This interconnected system maximizes resource use, minimizes waste, and demonstrates efficient symbiotic relationships across industries. ISO 59020-2024 standardizes processes to ensure consistency and verifiability in data collection and calculation using key circularity indicators. It offers a structured framework to set boundaries, select indicators, and interpret data. This enables evaluation at regional, organizational, and product levels. The standard also supports resource optimization and sustainable development by facilitating effective circular economy practices. ISO 59020-2024 outlines a framework for circular economy measurement. It emphasizes three key areas: measurement and assessment by setting boundaries and processing data, ensuring consistency and reproducibility in data handling for accurate outcomes, and applicability across various levels, regional, organizational, and product-specific. This framework aids in informed decision-making and advancing sustainability efforts. ISO 59020-2024 emphasizes principles for measuring and assessing circularity by focusing on meaningful outcomes and relevant boundaries. The goal is to generate actionable insights to drive circularity improvements while defining clear system boundaries. This ensures accurate assessments and guides effective circular economy strategies. ISO 59020-2024 outlines a framework for measuring and assessing circularity. It involves three core steps. First, boundary setting defines the system to be measured. Next, circularity measurement and data acquisition provide the necessary information. Finally, circularity assessment and reporting deliver insights to target audiences, users, and interested parties, guiding effective circular strategies. ISO 59020-2024 details the circularity measurement and data acquisition process. Starting with boundary setting and choosing circularity indicators, the process involves identifying what needs measurement and acquiring data. If acquisition is challenging, revisions are made. Once data is collected, it's calculated and aggregated, leading to circularity assessment and reporting. This structured approach ensures precise and actionable insights. ISO 59020-2024 emphasizes boundary setting, crucial for measuring circularity. The system in focus, along with its environmental, economic, and social contexts, is defined. This involves determining all resource inflows and outflows, along with wider interconnected systems. This approach ensures comprehensive and accurate assessments of circularity impacts within a specified context. This slide from ISO 59020-2024 outlines the circularity measurement taxonomy and interactions. It connects circular goals and actions with measurement taxonomy, focusing on assessing sustainability impacts. Categories include resource flow measurements, circularity indicators, and their interactions. It emphasizes complementing with other standards while focusing on system principles like resource traceability. This structured approach ensures robust, measurable sustainability practices. ISO 59020-2024 offers examples of circularity measurement at an organizational level. It highlights resource inflow indicators such as average recycled content and resource outflow indicators including use of renewable energy. Categories include energy and water consumption ratios, resource reuse intensity, and residual product design. These measurements guide organizations in achieving specific objectives like value recovery and resource reuse efficiency, enhancing sustainability efforts. ISO 59020-2024 lists core circularity indicators, focusing on resource inflows and outflows. Indicators like average recycled content and material reuse ratios are mandatory for retaining and recovering value. Optional indicators such as total recycled content lifetime and product recovery rate guide sustainable resource management. This framework supports organizations in enhancing circular practices. ISO 59020-2024 outlines circularity indicators for energy, water, and economic resources. These indicators include the average percentage of renewable energy consumption, water recycling rates, and resource intensity indexes. By measuring factors like energy recovery and water reuse cycles, organizations can enhance resource efficiency and sustainability within their operations. This structured approach provides actionable insights for improving circular practices. ISO 59020-2024 details the data acquisition process for circularity measurement. It starts by breaking down the system into subsystems and elements, specifying data needs, and acquiring data from sources. Data is then normalized, rules are applied, and completeness is checked. This ensures that the quality and scope of information align with the goals, leading to accurate calculation of indicators. In ISO 59020-2024, quality assessment documentation involves several steps. It starts with the context of application, outlining boundaries and goals. Data sources include primary and secondary data, requiring quality checks. Modeling choices pertain to how data is processed and indicators are applied. Lastly, administration information ensures transparency and accountability, ensuring comprehensive and reliable assessments. ISO 59020-2024 details the steps for assessing circularity performance. It begins with reviewing measurement results, including calculations and adjustments. The assessment evaluates the social, environmental, and economic impacts. Stakeholders and target audiences are consulted to ensure alignment with their needs. The final step involves documenting and reporting findings to guide strategic decisions. This process ensures comprehensive and actionable insights into circularity performance. In this example from ISO 59020-2024, a precision tool manufacturer is showcased. It illustrates the life cycle from production to recycling. Key resource inflows include raw materials, energy, and water. Outflows highlight waste management and tool recycling. The diagram emphasizes refurbishing and repurposing used tools to enhance circularity, showcasing practical application of the standards for efficient resource use and waste reduction. In this example from ISO 59020-2024, we see a single organization system boundary. It maps how resources flow within this boundary, focusing on factors like material use, energy consumption, and waste management. The diagram illustrates the journey of resources from initial inflows to product creation, usage, and eventually recycling or disposal. This holistic approach helps track and optimize resource efficiency and sustainability within a defined system. Thank you so much for your time today. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. If you're ready to begin your own environmental, social, and governance journey, reach out to us at esgelemonconsultech.com. We're here to help guide you every step of the way.